Today we're going to talk about the process of buying a house in Los Angeles, from how much money you need to qualify for a loan, to down payment, working with a realtor, timeframes, and like a bunch of other fun stuff. Number one, the biggest hurdle to buying a house: money. So let's start with this. Now, assuming you're not buying cash, here are some basic things to keep in mind. One, credit score. Now, typically the minimum credit score to qualify for a mortgage is about a 620, but you'll start getting access to some of the better rates as your credit score starts moving above a 720. Pretty much the higher the credit score, the lower the interest rate. Two, qualifying for a loan. Now, as a rough rule of thumb, most lenders will allow about 45% of your monthly pre-tax income to go towards a mortgage payment and other debts. So for example, if you make about $20,000 a month and have no debt, they could qualify you for a mortgage payment of up to $9,000 a month, including property taxes and insurance. Now, keep in mind, this is assuming you have no debt. If, for example, you have like a $1,000 a month car payment, then this will reduce your qualifying income from like $9,000 to about $8,000 a month. Now, to get an idea of how much house this can buy you, you can mess with the calculator on mortgagecalculator.org. And in this case, a $9,000 mortgage payment translates to a $1.4 million condo. And by the way, don't forget to account for annual property taxes, which are about 1.25% of the purchase price. 3, down payment. Now, you can put as little as 3.5% down, but honestly, in most cases, I wouldn't recommend it. Keep in mind that the lower the down payment, the higher the monthly payment, and the more you're paying in mortgage insurance and interest. For example, $1 million house with 20% down, your monthly payment is about $6,500 a month. With 3.5% down, your payment is almost $8,000 a month, and you can probably rent that same house for like $5,500 a month. That's why my recommendation, at least on the west side of Los Angeles, I would say minimum 10% down and ideally 20% down or more. I mean, most of my clients financing $2 to $4 million houses, it's not necessarily that they have high monthly incomes, they're just giving larger down payments, 25 to 50% down, in order to qualify for the monthly payments. Now, keep in mind the above are just like some general rules. A bunch of different factors go into qualifying for a mortgage, and ultimately what you'll want to do is get a pre-approval letter from a lender, which is basically a letter that says that based on verification of your income, assets, and credit, you're pre-approved for like such and such amount, your interest rate will likely be this, and your monthly payments will be this. Step number 2 to buying a house in Los Angeles: hire a real estate agent. And keep in mind that talking to a real estate agent can also be step number 1. For example, I offer free consultations to potential clients where I guide them, answer questions, and help them determine if buying even makes sense for them. And a good real estate agent will typically also have a good network of lenders that they can refer you to with good rates and a proven track record, or lenders who can offer non-conventional loans like asset-based mortgages, bank statement loans, or mortgages for foreigners. And when looking to hire a real estate agent, you want someone who is less of a salesperson and more of a consultant. I mean, if the only value that a real estate agent is bringing to the table is to help you find a house and then selling it to you, then yeah, we got a problem. But anyway, as of 2024, pretty much all real estate agents in the US representing buyers before they can even show a house are now legally required to enter a written buyer representation agreement where, among other things, it states how much the agent's gonna get paid. Now, this fee is negotiable, but is typically around 2.5% of the purchase price, and it's typically only due if you actually buy a property. Now, you can choose to pay for this fee directly, but it's become customary to negotiate that the seller pay for the buyer's agent commission. Now, for more information on buyer representation agreements, check out my other video, which I'll link at the end of this video. And by the way, my name is Daniel Rangel, real estate agent on the west side of Los Angeles. If I can be of any help, it would be an honor. And for a free consultation on buying or selling, don't hesitate to reach out, and you can find my information in the description below. And for more Los Angeles real estate videos like this one, check out my channel and consider subscribing. Step number 3, house hunting. Now, the time for this process varies. I mean, I've had clients buy a house over a weekend and others take about a year, but I would say on average, it takes about 1 to 3 months. Now, here again, if all your realtor is doing is scheduling appointments and like opening doors, then we got a problem. They should be helping you filter out property, understand neighborhoods and boundaries, spot red flags, and identify pros and cons. For example, they may spot out that the seller is including the converted garage in the listed square feet to justify a higher price, and well, that's wrong. Step number 4, get an offer accepted. Now, from the point that you get an offer accepted to the point that you actually get the keys, you're looking at about 30 days. Now, during this period, also known as the escrow period, 4 main things are happening. 1, within 3 days of acceptance, you're sending a deposit, which is pretty much like a holding deposit of about 3% of the purchase price. And if negotiated into the agreement, because it's not by default, you typically have 3 main contingencies, which basically means your offer is subject to or contingent on certain things happening, and if they don't happen, you have the right to cancel the agreement and get your deposit back. 1, financing contingency. This typically gives you about 15 days to get your loan approved. 2, appraisal contingency. If you're financing the purchase, the lender's typically going to require that the property be appraised, and you typically have about 14 days to get this done. And 3, investigation contingency. Now, this typically grants you about 7 to 14 days to investigate all aspects of the property. This can include a physical inspection, plumbing, roof, foundation, but also administrative investigation, including title, insurability, rental restrictions, permits, and like a bunch of other stuff. Pretty much, this is the time to investigate anything and everything about the property. And I've personally created an over 50-point checklist of things that I look out for on behalf of my clients. For example, 1, I go and physically knock on the neighbors' doors, and trust me, if there's anything bad to know about the property, they'll let you know. Now, once all the terms of the agreement are met, about 5 days before closing, you'll deposit the remaining amount of your down payment and closing costs. And by the way, closing costs are typically about 1 to 2% of the purchase price, assuming the seller pays for the buyer's agent commission. So yes, your total cost to purchase is made up of 2 parts: down payment and closing costs. Now, my recommendation is never spend all your money on down payment and closing costs. After the transaction closes, you should have several months of cash reserves for repairs and emergencies. But anyway, once all the money is sent, the deed is recorded under your name, then the property is officially yours. Now, throughout this process, your realtor should serve as your consultant. They should essentially be project managing the whole process, from helping you negotiate a good interest rate, negotiate a good purchase price, making sure you meet your contractual deadlines, help you make sense of the hundreds of documents that you're going to encounter, and even make you aware of your cancellation rights. And actually, some of my most grateful clients are not necessarily the ones that I help negotiate the purchase, but the ones that I help negotiate the cancellation and got their $70,000 deposit back. And by the way, my name is Daniel Rangel, real estate agent on the west side of Los Angeles. If I can be of any help, it would be an honor. And for a free consultation on buying or selling, don't hesitate to reach out, and you can find my information in the description below. And for more Los Angeles real estate videos like this one, check out my channel and consider subscribing. But either way, thanks a bunch for watching and have an awesome day.